Hi guys from Linz, my hometown. I'm here to show you this beautiful town. I'm here now in it's today, the 1st of June. The summer is beginning, 2022, and I promote EU enlargement today here. We will create a small association of the Friends of Europe, similar like Vienna Goes Europe. We will do that and to promote and collect all the friends of the Balkans and of Ukraine and Moldova and Georgia. Also in Linz and in Upper Austria, many people have done already great things for Ukraine and for Kosovo and for Albania. Some of them will be there. Some are afraid of my proposal, but here in Upper Austria still some things are not going so good. We are still highly dependent on Russian gas. Here you see the energy tower of the energy company. They are very much with the Russian energy still. They were talking about transforming and privatizing to green and to be a market-based company already 30 years ago. They have not done it 30 years and they are in bed with the Russians. That's very bad. Yeah, that's very bad. Also, they are here, have a coalition with the nationalists from this called anti-freedom party, which abuses the word. That's also very bad. And they have not opened the labor market. And there are issues with integration here of our friends from the Balkans, because I always call for the open, not the open Balkans, don't get me wrong, the open Austrian labor market. Recently in the media, I learned that Austria is the third most restrictive country in terms of citizenship granting. So it's not only the labor market, it's also the citizenship granting. And of course Austria is very much against NATO, because I will also promote NATO membership and I will be active, of course, in the promotion of EU enlargement, visa liberalization for our friends from Kosovo. We have so many people from Kosovo in Upper Austria, and on my trip in Kosovo it was again so clear. Many friends have been stating they really love Austria, and so many people have signed for the petition now. This was really a major success. And here's this energy tower I talked about, and they have still these links with Russia. And in the last 5 years I was actually very active on that debate on Zaporizhzhia being the friendship city of Linz. Can you believe? Yeah? And then there was a delegation from the city of Linz, and they were of course against Ukraine and in favor of Russia. And Linz was one of the centers where Christoph Leitl has of course done this really tragic mistake always to criticize the sanctions and all these things. I was very much against that all the time. Now he says he has misunderestimated Putin, whatever. It's crazy. Yeah. Not the generation before, some of them, they went east. Not all of them, that's true. Some of them stayed in the line of Mok. Some of them went eastwards. And as I said in my other video about the Austrian People's Party, tragic mistake, because the voters here, who are conservative voters, Christian voters, countryside voters, small middle class voters mostly, this is hard-working people, they are good people. They never would endorse a pro-Russian energy pivot if they knew it. They are not for Russia here. The people know. And the voters know. Of course here the people are for Western integration, for Europe. If you would explain it well, also they would support Ukraine more, they would support Kosovo more, they would support NATO. But our tragic elite, they have gone in a different direction. And of course then riled up people with anti-Americanism, with anti-NATO, anti-trade philosophy, with all these really dangerous, toxic, populist, left and nationalistic agendas. And then they made energy deals with Russia. That's how it is. And that's how it was. And that's how it's not going to continue. By the way, the beautiful theater here, I like it very much. It's very good here. It's this nice garden, beautifully integrated. We are very open in Linz. In reality, a lot of people have chosen to come here because here is good middle class workplaces in industry and in SMEs. That's the big advantage. Historically, that's the structure of the economy. And of course, this attracts a lot of people who want to work. They see these opportunities, they send money back home, and we have not been open enough. And now everybody says, where is the workforce? Then we have inflation pressure, because your favorite Russian energy supplier is a monstrous killer and a war criminal. And then they say, we didn't know. I wonder, what kind of seriousness can one politician or leading business figure say he didn't know that the war is waging since 2014? Because, it's 2014, it's 8 years. When you say, for example, you are in politics and you don't know that there is war so long, how can you say that? It's for me a mystery. And this is something I'm at pain to accept, because the war is not a war since the 24th of February. That's a complete misconception. Just the extension and escalation of an ongoing war, which in various phases has started on the 27th of February 2014, and that's, to my best knowledge, that's basically 8 years. So if you are in politics, like not Mr. Nehammer, who doesn't like to debate, but if you're just in politics, normally you discuss things, you understand, you're interested what's happening in other countries. It's an 8-year war, and then it escalates since 3 months, and then you say you're not interested. That's for me a complete surprise. Yeah, Linz is very beautiful here. This is the place. It's really good. I will show you a lot of Linz, because today is my Linz day. And Linz goes Europe. That's the slogan of today. I will give you some update. I will show you here, it's very important infrastructure. For the history, it's also a very interesting town. I made a video about that one already, because it's a tragic place and history. It was completely destroyed in World War II, and it was because of the railway lines and the heavy industry, because the east of Linz was the most heavy industry at the Danube. And that's why it has such a relevance, because it's one city like Zaporizhia, which was industrialized in the preparation of the World War II. So basically, because of its strategic significance, with its infrastructure access of the railway and the Danube, it's not the natural resources, but this infrastructure ability. Then these big steel and chemical factories were created, where the two big dictators of the 20th century, Stalin and Hitler, they have competed who can do more heavy industrialization in order to be prepared for the war, and that's what they did. And Linz and Zaporozhye are therefore very fitting cities. I always have been at pains to understand why we are not doing more to support these great cities. From Linz, my brother, so they were actually student exchange at that time. So in communist times, we were doing a lot. Now, in time of freedom, we're doing very little for Zaporizhia. I wanted to revive the partnership, but they were not ready for that one. And the provincial elites were, of course, in Linz we have a lot of traffic issues because it's pumping industry. It's of course very good area, but climate change is, of course, it would be good to have more electromobility and to really go into a cleaner and greener Linz, because there's a lot of poverty as well here, and we have to fight that one. And the way forward is, of course, to have more openness. Openness is always the key to prosperity, and it's the way to really achieve more lasting progress. When you are more open, people here want to come from all lives, from all countries in the world. They should be welcomed, and also to have opportunities to work and to settle here, and to have a greener, cleaner, more prosperous Linz would be good to overcome the ghosts of the past. Yeah? because of course Linz was also totally destroyed in World War II because of its tragic symbolism, because the big bad guy, he wanted to turn it into a kind of cultural capital of his Germania, and he had many terrible plans for the city. Some of them are architectural still available, and so Linz has a big strategic role to play, and it should be more European out of this one. The obligation from a tragic past should be to build a better future, and to build it better by overcoming the past, documenting the past, being very clear. And in my podcast I will also show you the concentration campsites in Ebensee and in Mauthausen and in Gusen. I will also show you a lot of the other tragic legacy, but it's not enough preserved in my view, and it should be, because if we somehow document the tragic failures of the past in policy terms, and also especially what is my topic is also then the communist occupation of northern Upper Austria. That's also a tragic failure, that this was allowed. Patton said no, but I learn now much more about how the post-war peace was done and the failures of especially Roosevelt in the war to give in so much and supply Stalin so intensively, even after the big battles were won, continuously supplying him. And this is very beautiful here, but it will be more beautiful with more green mobility. That would be really good. Anyhow, this was my first intro to Linz today. Expect more from Linz. It's my Linz day, from Mitrovica to Linz, and I propose a partnership between Mitrovica and Linz and Elbasan. This is a bit what I would like to achieve, and I will work systematically now also for Linz, not full time, just one of my activity, but I will also contribute some time and build a network of friends here in Linz to Europeanize Linz, because in conclusion I think Linz is not European enough. They are a bit stuck in nationalistic and ancient concept, and they need some lifting of the spirit towards Europe. Okay, more from European Linz during the day. Bye.